page 5, there's an email here from John Scott, who's the Post Office Head of Security, to Mike Young. Do you recall who Mike Young was?
So Mike Young was, I think, the Chief Information Officer at the time.
Thank you. He says, Mike, and this is 6th of March 2012, we believe we're close to an agreement. There have been a number of debating points, but are now down to the last two. Number one, Royal Mail Group security focused primarily on investigations and prosecution with a view for compensation via the courts, and then supported by crime prevention post-apprehension. They seek to allow further theft/crime to continue in order to be able to identify and apprehend the offender for such prosecution. Post Office security will support this approach in most circumstances, but cannot agree on every occasion which has been discussed. If we have a look at the bottom of page 1 over to page 2, please, there's a response from Tony Marsh, who is the Group Security Director at the Royal Mail Group. Do you remember Mr. Marsh?
I do, yes.
He says, it is inaccurate and disingenuous for John to state, and it quotes the bit I think that I've just read, RMG security focused primarily on investigations and prosecution with a view to compensation via the courts, and then supported by crime prevention post-apprehension. They seek to allow further theft/crime to continue in order to be able to identify and apprehend the offender for such prosecution, as he does in his associated email of the 6th of March to Mike Young. If this was the basis of John's briefings to Mike Young, then some of Mr. Young's more inexplicable beliefs and positions may now be better understood. Royal Mail Security naturally pursues a strategy of prevention, deterrence, disruption and detection, with prosecution and asset recovery a key element of the deterrence approach. Royal Mail Security would never seek to prolong offending behaviour, as this would exacerbate losses to the organisation and its customers, impact negatively on customer satisfaction and public perception, and might result in an offender facing increased penalties, which would in itself be an affront to natural justice. Any suggestion to the contrary is unprofessional and does John little credit. Do you recall tensions between the investigations and security branches of the Royal Mail and the Post Office?
So I didn't at the time. Having read this now, it's very clear that there were tensions between the two of them, and yeah, it's very clear.